Imagine this, you're driving down the road in your particular car of choice, and in this case it's the electric car, and you see outside some zombies. So you stop, a horde of zombies. You stop, and you see that they're not facing you. So you back away slowly, do a perfectly executed J-turn, and drive off. Now what do you do? Well, there's only one thing that can be determined. The apocalypse has dawned, and your vehicle will need an upgrade. Fast forward several months, well, several years even, and this is what you've come up with. This is the zombie car. As you can see, it's been heavily modified for the apocalypse. The previous owners of this vehicle was Mr. and Mrs. Barrett, who operated it as their family car with their family. However, it's now being kept up and running by George Jules and his girlfriend, Jane Barlow, and they have extensively modified this vehicle, and they operate in suburban London, and they use this vehicle as their vehicle of choice amongst the roads. So starting up with the front here, as you can see, due to the strain of years and the ever-increasing shortage of resources, it has got a bit rusty in certain places. Not all of the lights will happen to work. If I just override the time quickly, just so that we can see it. Not all of the lights happen to work, unfortunately, due to rust getting in there, messing with the electronics. However, on the front, what they've done is they've fitted a zombie scoop here. As you can see, this is just a simple scoop mechanism, which is designed to either cut the zombies into pieces or to push them out of the way of the oncoming vehicle. And that's just slightly modified the front of the vehicle. The number plate, unfortunately, is hanging off ever so slightly. But they have added that onto the vehicle. And then, as for the front windscreen, what they've got here is they've fitted some iron bars, well, steel bars, just in the front here, which helps to protect the people inside from any zombies that happen to manage to get onto the hood of the car. So you're well protected from any sort of zombies getting onto the bonnet of your car and smashing into the windscreen. And then the doors have also been changed, which is partly due to the updated car model. But what they've also done with the doors is that they fitted steel bars into those as well, so that anything trying to get in through the side of the car will be stopped by the bars in the side, because obviously no zombies are going to be able to get through steel bars. And then coming to the back doors as well, the same sort of thing. Moving around towards the back of the car, as you can see, the boot has also been updated. There's more steel bars in the side windows here, just as more protection, and then around to the rear of the vehicle, yet more bars on the boot glass, and then there is a spare wheel which has been fitted here, which is just a simple steel spare wheel which has just been fitted to the back of the car there. Moving over to the side again, yeah, more steel bars. Unfortunately, due to the strain of the Wasteland Wars, one of the side doors has had to be completely remade out of scavenged steel, which is why it's not in the same blue or rusted blue of the vehicle here. The radio is still there, however, well, it's pretty much non-usable now, just due to the fact that there are nothing other than emergency broadcasting channels which are just broadcasting the same error message or the same warning message. So the radio has just been kept there, not yet scrapped, just in case they manage to set up some sort of supply network around the London area. And then one of the wheels they had to switch out for a steel spare, which is why that also is a different looking vehicle. Moving up to the top of the vehicle, what they've done is they have cut a hole in the roof and they have fitted a machine gun turret up top here, just with a simple machine gun which is fed via a box, an external ammo box which just belt feeds onto the top of the machine gun, and that also has got a seat for them to sit in there. Moving into the rear of the boot, if I just enter in here, just showing off a couple more of the features. The doors, which can open like so, for access into the actual vehicle itself, and those can simply open and close like that. And then as for the boot, if we open up the boot there, then what we can see inside of here are some simple repairs which you might need in the post-apocalyptic wasteland. You've got a simple, small, well-kept toolbox to fit or do repairs, for example, fit that spare tyre, and you've also got your needed bug-out bag. So this bug-out bag is a simple zip-up bag, a couple of pouches on the front. There is also the zip up the top of the bag there, and then you've got the side elastic bit here for holding a water bottle, for example. It carries enough supplies to last several days for a person, or for emergency measures for several, and it's simply just a big backpack which every survivor needs whenever they're travelling out into the wasteland. In fact, they need a bug-out bag anywhere, inside of your survivor's base, inside of your community, inside your vehicle, anywhere. A bug-out bag is needed. And a final warning about driving in the post-apocalyptic wasteland: watch out for undercar grabbers, where a zombie will get swept underneath the vehicle and they will simply grab on to a part of the vehicle underneath, and will attempt to bite or claw at the shins, ankles, feet and legs of survivors as they step out of their vehicle. So yeah, that's just a final warning there. And then of course the machine gun is up top, which is on a fully rotatable 360 degree turning turret for deterrent against unorganised bandit groups who may attempt to attack your car as you scavenge out in the wasteland. And just to demonstrate on that group of zombies, this vehicle, mostly the scoop, as you round the corner here, oh no, the zombies have moved. That is not good. You must find a different group of zombies somewhere else. After waiting a while, another group of zombies has wandered into the area, so rounding the corner, simply drive at the zombies like so, smash through them, and the scoop has done most of the work for you, whereby you can then run over the zombies, cause additional damage, try not to fall over, and then go for another run through the zombies like so, causing massive damage to them. The scoop has had to be rebuilt several times, from what I have understood when I was lent this vehicle by the survivor group. But then the machine gun is also rather and taking out zombies with a headshot. If you do not need to spare, the zombies so. And then should night descend and you find yourself without lights, unfortunately due to the age of the vehicle and the lack of spare parts, the lights do not work as fully effective as you may wish, which is unfortunate. As you can see, the headlights are not in the best health, nor are any of the lights really. As you can see, one of the top brake lights is out, and also due to the crashing of the zombies, one of the reversing lights was taken out there. But as we can see from the fully repaired vehicle, this is what all of the lights look like on the vehicle. And yes, this is the post-apocalyptic The Zombie electric car with a fully traversable turret, seating for 5 people, the driver, 3 other survivors, and of course the machine gunner up top, able to fully execute a J-turn like so. And that is one of the means of getting across the zombie-torn wasteland. However, there was one man, Ian Malcolm, who had a custom-built pickup truck. And he lived down in Devon, and he took it to various car shows around the nearby area to show it off whenever he happened to notice a car show on, and this was his custom-built pickup. However, when the apocalypse dawned, he could not just sit by and let his possession be taken over by particularly hungry bandits. So, fast-forwarding a few years to the point where we now pick up or get lent his most prized possession, which is this pickup truck, and we'll see exactly how he has modified it for the post-apocalyptic wasteland. As you can see, Ian's most prized possession has now been extensively modified. Unfortunately, it has seen the wear of the post-apocalyptic world. However, due to the helpfulness of several army survivors, namely John Highwickham and Leslie Bowman, he has modified his pickup truck to accommodate several of the means of getting around in the post-apocalyptic wasteland. Firstly, the scoop. He also had the idea of fitting a scoop to the zombie vehicle. Perhaps not as well manufactured as the post-apocalyptic car. It is still no doubt effective due to its low ground clearance at kneecapping zombies whenever they get too close. Unfortunately, the rust has started to set in many of the places due to the strain of that post-apocalyptic wasteland. However, once again, he also had the same idea of fitting steel bars to the zombified vehicle, or the zombie survival vehicle, I should say. And he has just fitted the steel bars everywhere that he can, including the rear window of the vehicle. As you would see, this is what the view of the vehicle looks like from inside. Coming to the outside, his external fuel tanks unfortunately have seen a bit of wear and tear, as has the rear of the vehicle. As we can see, several of the very nice wooden panelling has started to decay and fall off the vehicle, which is rather unfortunate. However, it still does its job of well, fitting to the side of the vehicle, I think. And then inside of the rear of the vehicle, he has got seating for 4 survivors. Plus, he has also got various supplies which would be needed for repair or resupply of his vehicle. For example, a water pump for, well, giving water to the vehicle. Perhaps a tad overdose, but no doubt will be useful. Got a spare can in the back there, could be full of petrol or full of some other fluid, and of course 2 spare wheels in order to repair the vehicle. And then up top on the vehicle he has fitted a machine gun turret, which has got a dual machine gun courtesy of those 2 army survivors, and those are fed with external box magazines which feed into the gun. And it's basically double the firepower of the original zombie car. And sitting in the vehicle, as we can see there, the modified doors which open with the steel bars, as you can see, and then in the rear of the vehicle the rear door does open, and also the machine gun turret can also traverse in a 360-degree radius with minus 50 gun pressure and a plus 30 gun elevation for taking out a variety of targets. Unfortunately, the only problem with his pickup is that because it is a custom modified pickup, as you can tell by the V8, he does not take it out much in the wasteland, and if he does, it is only for short trips due to the high shortage of petrol, which is one of the good things about the car. However, as you can see, the scoop still no doubt effective at taking out several of these zombies. In fact, there's part of a torso left on top of the vehicle, which you can simply get rid of by reversing. And and due to the raw brute strength and power of this vehicle, the zombies don't really stand a chance, and any that are left, the twin machine gun easily takes care of them. As we can see there, tearing them apart, also riddled with bullets, taking them out with headshots, of course. And so, the view from inside, as you can see, the steel bars do unfortunately restrict your vision. However, the improved survivability of the passengers of the vehicle is no doubt more useful to the survivors of this community. And there is the view from the cupola, as you can see. They have got a rather clear view from the back, and they have also got a bit of protection from the rear as well. And then sitting in the back of the vehicle, unfortunately it is slightly more open. However, the fitting of the steel bars in this sort of cage formation will no doubt help to ease a few survivors' minds about this vehicle. And were night to descend, unfortunately, due to the stress of the post-apocalyptic wasteland. That's not what I wanted. Due to the stress of the post-apocalyptic wasteland, the lights do not all work, function as wanted, as you can see, which is rather unfortunate. However, it will no doubt be a welcomed use to a survivor's capabilities of getting out and about in the post-apocalyptic wasteland. So that was this custom pickup. And switching back to the car quickly, this is the view from inside of the vehicle. Once again, the steel bars do unfortunately restrict the vision ever so slightly. But again, the added protection will be more useful. And here is the view of the machine gunner as they sit up there in the turret to deter any sort of bandits or to keep an eye out for any sort of roaming groups of zombies. However, not everyone in the wasteland has to deal with only normal, well, I say normal, but road legal vehicles. Some of them have been lucky to find ex-military vehicles. For example, a group in West Yorkshire managed to get their hands on a military truck, which they found abandoned in the side of the road, and they have taken it over and repurposed it for their own means. This one is operated by Dave Bascani and Tony Vasquez, and they operate and own this military truck for their walled community in West Yorkshire, which boasts a group of 30 or more people in a walled-off community of several streets, and they have modified this truck for their own purposes. For example, the very large and layered zombie scoop up front here, plus the extra steel bars to protect the windows of the vehicle. Unfortunately, one of the side mirrors has seen better days and is no longer usable, and the front grille and several of the lights are hanging off, which is unfortunate. Plus, many of the side decals, namely saying USA, have been scratched off or gone away due to wear. Also, the side has been patched up several times from various operations where the truck has been damaged and they have not had the correct means to actually repair this vehicle, so they've just simply nailed on or bolted on some spare pieces onto the truck, plus the spare tyre which has been fitted there. The view from inside the vehicle, as we can see, is like this. Unfortunately, one of the doors had to be completely replaced due to it being blown out due to a bandit attack. Spare wheels underneath the vehicle, which are simply held on here, like so. Heading around to the back, several of the panels have been replaced with, well, just simple metal sheeting. The actual covered part, this tarpaulin, has been left untouched and is mostly alright, actually. And then heading to the back, several of the lights, unfortunately, and the number plate are hanging off, which is just due to the age of the vehicle at this point. And then, if I simply drive the vehicle forwards, like so, then we will notice there the doors shall open for us, and we get to see inside of the vehicle, and also the rear of the vehicle will also open like so, to allow access to the supplies inside. And indeed, they have managed to get a haul of supplies in here. Many tin cans of goods we can see here, a box of apples back here, several car batteries, some old machine guns, one of which the barrel has been very rusted, unfortunately, tools in the back, supplies, ammunition, another large red toolbox, which is rusted, which means it's the best kind of toolbox, and a variety of supplies to head back to their survivor group with. And no doubt you're wondering what this large hatch is doing in the rear of the vehicle here, which is steel. It does not match up, and that is because you are quite correct, it does not match up. For, as we can see, view from inside the vehicle here, no machine gun turret, due to the fact that this would be operating with a convoy of other post-apocalyptic vehicles. And in the back here, as we can see, there is a hatch in the back which says, if emergency, evac through hatch. And the point of this is that you push the hatch, and say your vehicle was swamped by the undead and you are unable to escape, or you needed to quickly evacuate the vehicle due to bandit raids, what you would do is simply open the hatch like so. You push it open, and you would clamber through the escape hatch and out of the rear doors, hopefully towards the protection of the rear vehicles of the convoy, which would then help to ward off the bandits or the undead. And you simply make your way through the rear of the vehicle like so. And once again, the vehicle scoop is at the front of the vehicle, which you can then use to run over the undead as you please. Say it was night time, then there are the lights for you. Unfortunately, yes, again, due to the age of the vehicle, these are all the lights you're going to get, which is rather unfortunate. It is also rather large on the gas consumption. However, the scoop, very effective, as you can see here, simply knocking over a large swathe of zombies. And yes, they operate this truck several times in order to get food between their communities and for scavenging large amounts of supplies from outside in the wasteland and back to their community. And the final vehicle here is an armoured personnel carrier that John Statham in Portsmouth managed to find and hold off against some bandits with nothing but an air rifle before his fellow survivors could regroup, gather their arms, and come and relieve him. And this is what they have managed to accomplish with it. It still has got the machine gun up the top, unfortunately rather rusted, a very large zombie scoop up front here, held on with a variety of bars. Fortunately, one of the side mirrors is just dangling off, unfortunately, due to the age of the vehicle, as are some of the exterior ladders, and indeed the view inside rather rusted, unfortunately, and the hatches on top of the vehicle there for access out. Several parts of the vehicle have had to be rebuilt. For example, the back of the door had to be salvaged from what they could, and the rest they had to rebuild due to an attack by bandits when they found this vehicle, as has that rear panel there. But other than that, nothing much other than some rust on the vehicle is what's stopping them. And indeed, if I clamber inside and I head out, the machine gun here can turn, obviously. There, the hatches can open for you to allow access into and out of the vehicle, and the rear doors can also open as so. And inside of the vehicle, they've managed to find a first aid kit, which they have just got in the rear of the vehicle there. Several spare tyres of various descriptions, a small toolbox, a very good case of water, which they managed to get there, some spare machine gun barrels, some old rusted shells, which are of very little use to them, and also some more metal panelling, which they will no doubt put to good use back at their community. And indeed, getting back into the vehicle, the rear doors can of course close like so. There is the view of the inside of the vehicle. The steel bars again restricting even more of the vision of this otherwise rather unrestricted. Sorry, of this otherwise still very restricted vehicle. The machine gun, of course, can take out a variety of targets. And heading over here, once more on this zombie horde, we can simply use the scoop to push them out of the way. Probably the most effective zombie scoop that we have seen on several of these survivors' vehicles. And using the power of the vehicle, you can crush them over and destroy the zombies like so. And once more for the fun, simply driving forwards and scooping them out of the way of your vehicle is very, very effective. And was it to be nighttime, this here is what you get from all of the lights. Not only that, but the lights, there is interior lights, there is also some seating left in there for several survivors. Some of the seats had to be stripped out over time, but those that remain are able to sit several survivors in the vehicle. And that is all of the post-apocalyptic vehicles that I managed to lever from the various survivor groups that I know around the United Kingdom. The machine gun, as you can see, has suffered some wear and tear, rather rusty, but still, as you can tell, functional. And that is all of the post-apocalyptic vehicles. I will thank you all for watching this demonstration, and goodbye.